Report in. What we've just witnessed in Chapter 21 is no ordinary skirmish. This is a fracture in shinobi history. A new power has emerged, raw and untested, yet driven by absolute intention. Sarada Uchiha has awakened a new power, Mangekyo Sharingan, Ohirume. This was not stirred from vengeance or hate, but instead from a compassionate nature to protect her allies. This isn't just a Mangekyo ability. It's a singularity, a gravitational force that collapses everything we thought we knew. It mirrors the pull of Kamui, the compression of Shibaku Tensei, and the divine presence of truth-seeking orbs. The battle has shifted. Her power annihilates Ryu, but she faints from the side effects. Boruto reappears, brief but pivotal, choosing to defy Kashin Koji's plan and rescue Konohamaru. The prophecy is broken, but maybe that was the plan. Like father, like son, Boruto doesn't follow fate, he rewrites it as his ninja way. Grab your kunai. Here's the intel on Chapter 21 of Blue Vortex. Sarada's build-up. Chapter 21 doesn't just showcase Sarada's new power, it earns it. Before she fully activates Ohirume, the first few pages take us inward, into the heart of who she is. Through a sequence of flashbacks, we see Sarada reaffirm the path she's chosen, not through words, but through fond memories of those who mattered to her. We return to that pivotal moment in her past, her vow to become Hokage. It's a dream that always felt slightly out of reach. Not just because of the legacy she bears, but because of the chaos that has rewritten the world around her. Then comes the voice that grounds her, Boruto's voice, the memory of him promising, "I'll be your right-hand man," the Shadow Hokage. That promise, brief but unshakable, this becomes her emotional anchor and the call to action. It's in this reflection that we witness her evolution. She's not just fighting to survive, she's fighting to protect that vision. Her dream, her team, her future. What follows is not a power born of pain nor vengeance. It's born from the clarity of that purpose. To protect, to lead, to believe. With that clarity ignites something unseen until now. Ohirume, a Mangekyō Sharingan ability that spirals. A gravitational singularity summoned not by rage, but by resolve. Ultimately, it is her emotional suppression that gets released, so she may unlock her greatest power in this series. Sarada becomes the first Uchiha to forge a Mangekyo path rooted in love and protection, not tragedy and loss, necessarily. The black hole that devours Ryu isn't just a jutsu, it's a manifestation of her unwavering ninja way. And with that, the chapter begins to unfold. A brief chapter summary of key events. Sarada activates Ohirume and instantly eliminates Ryu. the chakra and technique that she executes take their toll, which causes Sarada to collapse from exhaustion, where she would be grabbed by Mitsuki with his extended arms and touch down safely for her to be cared for by Mitsuki. Matusari, obviously upset by what Konohamaru just did to her, she gets ready to kill him, and then suddenly Boruto appears with his flying Raijin, saves Konohamaru, in which breaks from Kashin Koji's advice to stay hidden. It's still unknown of Yodo's fate, whether she's truly dead or will be another Divine Tree candidate. Still remains uncertain, and then the chapter ends with Jura sensing Boruto's presence. So to confirm the previews, Sarada's black hole technique was accurately teased in the previews. It mirrors time-space compression and gravitational force, with that single panel showing her attack was much more devastating than expected. Boruto's reappearance and intervention to save Konohamaru lines up with leaks and previous speculation. The emotional flashbacks weren't previewed in detail, but added rich depth to the action and a very good build-up. So in some ways, I'm kind of glad that those weren't really leaked right away. It wasn't until after I already did my preview recording that they were released by Twitter, but of course, if anybody has ever seen the spoilers, they usually get deleted within about 24 hours after post. And then finally, with Ryu's death, while quick, it signifies how powerful Sarada's new ability has become, possibly rivaling past Mangekyo Sharingan users in raw versatility. And so personally for me, I thought it would be a little bit more of a prolonged fight before the Mangekyo Sharingan usage. But this is still good. I'm still satisfied with the result. The main characters, they really do need big power-ups to go up against these villains that are just a completely different level of power and abilities. And now let's talk more about Ohirume, explaining it with real-world science. Sarada's Ohirume doesn't just look like a black hole, it behaves exactly like one. The technique visually resembles gravitational lensing, which is the warping of light around an intense point of gravity. That suggests she's tapping into a space-time curvature similar to how Kamui distorts space to transport objects to another dimension. But there's more. The ability appears to exert a crushing pressure on its target, not unlike Shibaku Tensei, only here the core isn't an artificial mass, it's Sarada's will of power in the context of the manga. A center of gravity forged from her emotional clarity and her overall objective to protect her allies. And the visual touch are these floating black spheres. At least when I was reading it on Viz Media, they called them spheres, not so much vortexes. Floating black spheres that are a bit reminiscent and almost echo the truth-seeking orbs, often reserved for god-tier users like the Sage of Six Paths. These orbs suggest a mastery not just of chakra, but of intent. Sarada may be unlocking a divine-level technique through human-level compassion. And so, to really go into real-life science, we have what's called Hawking radiation, which is basically like a slow burn of power. So to really sum it up in the most shortest terms as possible, you can also Google this on your own. But even black holes aren't eternal. With Hawking radiation, it predicts, and this is all theoretical in science, but just entertain me on this. Hawking radiation predicts that black holes slowly emit energy and evaporate over time. Sarada's Ohirume may not only overwhelm enemies, it may consume her chakra gradually. A tool that builds in silence, her fainting isn't a flaw, it's really physics at work. And so with Hawking radiation, basically the smaller the black hole is, the more energy or type of radiation that it's giving off, and it burns faster. Whereas a larger black hole, it's going to be burning energy at a slower rate, but also with it a strong gravitational pull. And so when you see that panel of Ryu just getting pulled into that largest of all the sphere, vortex, black hole of all of them, I mean, this kind of is in comparison to Hawking radiation. And then there's something called Large Hadron Collider, which is basically distinguish between collision to creation. So LHC smashes particles at near light speed, attempting to recreate a microcosmic black holes. And so Sarada's Mangekyo acts like exactly a living collider. So with her own emotional release and her intent of compassion, she is essentially smashing all raw chakra to birth something that bends space itself. Not just annihilation, but almost its own transformation of itself. And then when it comes to gravitational lensing, bending the view, as I mentioned earlier, but I'll go a little bit more into this, is that it's just a warping of light around a massive object like a black hole. It distorts what we see. So with Sarada's power, similarly warps perception. Her singularity bends the battlefield, forces enemy into disarray, and obstructs and obscures the traditional lines of combat, much like her compassionate motives that really defy Uchiha precedent. And then there's what's called the event horizon, a point of no return. The event horizon is the boundary around a black hole. Once crossed, nothing escapes. Ohirume acts the same, a visual and gravitational snare that, once caught, it drags targets into compression. Ryu didn't just take a hit, he crossed the event horizon at Sarada as well. And so real briefly, I also just want to do a quick comparison of Ohirume, Kamui, and Shikibaku Tensei. So Kamui, made famous by Obito and Kakashi, it focuses more on space-time teleportation and intangibility. And there's more of a single target precision, which in turn creates a pure space manipulation. Then you have Shikibaku Tensei, used by the Diva Path, Pain, and even Sasuke, which is a gravitational binding to compress matter into such celestial bodies. It's a AoE impact or area of effect impact, pure force compression. Then finally with Ohirume, used by Sarada, it's a gravitational singularity modeled from a black hole. It's a hybrid of space-time pull and physical annihilation, but also it's chakra intensive. And so the overall expectations, the path ahead, logically, Sarada will be out of commission from her first time using her newfound Mangekyo Sharingan ability. I would also theorize and even expect that the Claw Grimes may withdraw and be redirected towards Boruto now that he has reappeared on the battlefield after he just cut up Matusari. Yodo's fate still needs clarification, if she's actually dead or if she's still alive and maybe just in critical condition. Even still that possibility that she could be harvested into a divine tree in the next chapters. So it's really just up in the air with Yodo if what's going to really happen to her. So we'll have to really wait for chapter 22 to confirm if she really is pronounced dead, or maybe something out of a video game, she ends up being a secret boss in this battle, where now Mitsuki and Urea have to fight the secret boss, a Shinju clone of Yodo. Who knows? That's just really a theory, but we'll have to just wait another month and find out. And then with Jura, it's still unknown if he'll make an immediate appearance, and it's still unknown about any remaining Divine Tree clones, Shinju, that are still in the background, such as Hidari and Mamushi, the bug clone. I expect that we should see some kind of hint of Kawaki's limiter either been removed or in the progress of being removed, so he can finally be useful. And then, not sure if it'll happen in this next chapter or eventually in future chapters, but I would be interested into knowing what Shikamaru's strategic response could be that could set the tone for how Konoha chooses to engage the Shinju and even Boruto. And then also, I could probably expect this in this next chapter of just Kashin Koji's own strategic response in the next chapter that could set the tone in building a turning point of the story. So to close this out, now that we've witnessed the ripple, it's only a matter of time until the wave crashes down. Sarada's evolution has redefined what the Mangekyo Sharingan can become, an emotional urgency to protect her allies. Beneath the surface was an internal conflict that held her back, with Yodo slain. In the battle, it becomes the call to action for Sarada. Boruto has solidified his own ninja way, with crisp precision like his master Sasuke, but with the unpredictability of his father Naruto. Someone needs to tell Koji that he's partnered with the son of the most unpredictable ninja. Keep your senses sharp. Maintain formation. The next shift in the story is coming.